Once upon a time, in a forest filled with tall trees and beautiful flowers, there lived a cheerful little bird. It spent its days singing with other birds, playing with the butterflies, and making new friends. When the sun began to set, it would return to its cozy nest, where its parents would always be waiting with a warm welcome and delicious food. Life was good. One day, as our little bird was happily hopping on a tree branch looking for tasty berries to eat, suddenly the leaves began to turn color and violently shake around him. The once beautiful blue sky had turned dark gray and menacing, and in the distance, he could hear the rumble of thunder getting closer and closer. It was the start of a terrible storm. This little bird had never seen anything like it. As soon as the first raindrops fell from the sky, all the forest animals began to frantically search for somewhere to hide. The squirrels scurried up trees and into their cozy nests. The rabbits hopped into their burrows, and the deer gathered together in tight groups, huddling for comfort. And the little bird, scared and confused, also began to look for somewhere to hide. At first, he thought about flying up high above the treetops, where the wind couldn't reach him. But then he saw the dark, angry clouds swirling around up there, so he flew down again. Then he thought maybe he could hide in the bushes. But the bushes were wet and cold, and the wind blew so hard that they bent almost double under its force. Just when he thought he might freeze to death, he remembered his cozy nest up in the tall tree. Maybe his parents would have some food he could eat and keep him warm. As little bird started to make his way back home, the wind suddenly picked up and blew him off course. A little bird flapped his wings as hard as he could, but the harder he tried to fight the wind, the further off track he got. And after a while, he simply gave up and allowed himself to be blown wherever the wind wanted to go. And just then, something amazing happened. A little bird saw a huge eagle soaring effortlessly through the air, directly against the wind. The eagle didn't seem to be struggling at all. It rode the wind currents with ease, maintaining a steady speed and staying perfectly balanced in the air. Even though the wind was strong, the eagle seemed almost weightless. Our little bird was astounded. Why wasn't the eagle getting blown around like all the other birds? What was it doing? And more importantly, how was it managing to stay upright in such a violent wind? Determined to find out, he gathered all his strength and did his best to fly straight toward the eagle. But the moment he got close enough to it, the wind suddenly pushed him away. He was confused. Was the eagle purposely keeping its distance from him? Or was there something else going on? Just then, the eagle let out a loud screech and dived straight down toward the ground. Our little bird panicked and flew away as fast as he could. After a while, he stopped and looked back. To his surprise, the eagle had disappeared, and then he noticed something else. He was no longer being blown around by the wind. It was as if he had entered a different world where everything was calm and peaceful. Cautiously, he began to circle around in the sky, and what he saw next made him gasp in amazement. Below him, the forest was covered in thick, dark storm clouds, but above him, the sky was filled with bright sunshine. The gentle breeze was warm and inviting, and all around him, colorful birds were singing sweet songs. And right in the middle of it all, the eagle was perched on a tree branch, looking at him. Our little bird understood now. The eagle wasn't just flying in the opposite direction of the wind. It was using the wind to help it fly even higher than before. Emboldened by this discovery, he decided to try it himself. He took a deep breath and started to flap his wings, pushing himself against the wind. At first it was hard, but then he felt a strange sensation come over him. It was as if the wind was no longer trying to push him away. Instead, it seemed to be helping him fly. He gained altitude slowly but surely, and when he finally looked back, he could see the dark storm clouds below him. He had escaped the storm and was now flying in the clear blue sky. From that day forward, whenever the little bird encountered stormy weather, he remembered the words of the wise eagle and used the wind to help him soar to new heights. And so, my friends, whenever you face adversity in your life, remember that it's not there to destroy you. It's there to make you stronger and wiser. Now, my little friends, it's time for bed. But before we go, I want to ask you something. Have you ever experienced a time in your life when you felt like you were going through a really tough storm? How did you overcome it? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your stories. Remember, just like the little bird, you have the power to use the wind to help you fly higher. Sweet dreams, my loves. Once upon a time in a faraway land, there was a little girl who loved to explore the forest near her home. One day she came across a clearing, and in the middle of it was the most beautiful butterfly she had ever seen. Its wings were a brilliant shade of blue, and it seemed to shimmer like a jewel in the sunlight. The little girl was so enchanted by the butterfly that she sat down on a nearby log and watched it flutter around. She had never seen a butterfly that color before, and she wondered if it would stay around long enough for her to catch it. Just then, the butterfly landed on a flower, and the little girl got up and crept closer to it. She reached out her hands slowly and carefully, hoping to touch its shimmering wings. But just as she was about to do it, the butterfly took off and flew away. The little girl was disappointed, but she wasn't giving up. She chased the butterfly through the forest, over hills and around trees, and it seemed like it was leading her on a merry chase. Finally, the butterfly landed on another flower, and the little girl, out of breath, collapsed onto a nearby rock. She sat there for a while, catching her breath and wondering if she would ever catch that elusive butterfly. Suddenly, she heard a voice that said, "Are you enjoying the game?" Startled, she turned around and saw an old woman sitting on a nearby stump. "Who are you?" asked the little girl. "I am the guardian of this forest," replied the old woman. "And that butterfly you have been chasing is no ordinary creature. It is a magical butterfly that only appears to those who are pure of heart." The little girl was amazed. She had never met a magical creature before, let alone a talking tree. "Why did you let me chase it?" she asked. "Because I wanted to see if you would give up," said the tree. "When you first started chasing the butterfly, I could see that your heart was filled with determination. But as you continued to chase it, I could sense your frustration growing. However, when you sat down on the rock, I could feel your calmness and acceptance. That's when I knew you were worthy." And butterfly fluttered around the little girl, and she could feel its magic filling her with joy and wonder. "Thank you," she whispered, knowing that she would never forget this magical encounter.